Join us and discover beautiful beaches, rugged landscapes, pretty towns, desolate mountain ranges that sweep down to stunning lakes, unique architecture, history and folklore, no shamrocks, no shillelaghs, and definitely no shenanigans. Just naked Ireland. Beautiful County Kerry today to visit this town on the Dingle peninsula, which is called, you guessed it, Dingle. Doesn't it look amazing? And I parked just at the marina, so we can start our film by having a look out the Dingle harbour and the bay beyond. Spectacular, I think you'll agree. And then we'll double back on foot along Strand Street, the way we drove in, towards the town centre. I mean, it's such a typical Irish seaside town. Now already I can see some nice restaurants and pubs, but this is just a taste of what's to come, so stay tuned. So Dingle is actually the only town on the peninsula, meaning that its closest other town is Tralee, about 50 kilometres east, which I'll be doing another video on at some point, so watch out for that one. Now we visited Killarney recently, and I talked quite a bit about the fairly extensive impact of tourism there. Dingle, perhaps to a smaller degree, also is a major tourist destination. I'm visiting in October and there are lots of visitors here at the moment, so it seems tourism doesn't just stop here at the end of summer. Again, look at the colours all the shops are painted in. They really make the effort to ensure that the town has maximum impact. John Bennett's pub there, looking very inviting indeed. And talking of tourists, you can see Dingle Woolen Centre beside it, where you'll get all your Iron jumpers and Irish knitwear in general. So tourism forms a large part of the town's economy, alongside the more traditional agriculture and fishing industries. But welcoming foreigners is nothing new to the citizens of Dingle. They've been welcoming the Spanish and French here for hundreds of years and trading with them in wines and hides and fish, of course. It was one of 15 towns or cities that was to have a monopoly on the import of wines, and yet we don't immediately associate Ireland with the wine trade. There's the Dingle Bay Hotel across the street, and a couple more pubs adjacent, all looking very appealing. I'll certainly be paying a visit to a pub later on. Now we're just coming up to the junction of Strand Street and what's called the Tracks, which is the seafront road heading off to the right, but we're going to head up Strand Street where the main shopping is. I should also say that Dingle is a Gaeltacht area where most locals will speak the language and 14% of people use the language on a daily basis. Again, we have another Aran knitwear shop right ahead of us now. The Aran Islands, of course, are just at the mouth of Galway Bay, so also off the west coast, a bit further up though. So heading on up Strand Street now. Now strangely, Dingle is a town where the population has dropped in recent years, and it has the oldest average population. So I guess young people move away from here and older people are attracted here for retirement. Now that little orange coloured pub across the street, Bob Griffin's Bar, I'm going in there later on and it'll be the subject of a separate future video. It's an incredible wee pub, but I've work to do here first, showing you guys around of course. Here's an interesting wee shop, the Dolphin Shop, in case you need to buy a dolphin while you're here. No, in fact this town has a close relationship with dolphins, as a particularly tame bottlenose dolphin called Fungi has been coming into the bay since 1983 and loved human contact. Unfortunately, he hasn't been seen since 2020. And there's Paddy Bond's bar. There's just too many for me to safely visit. Lovely, lovely wee town. And that might be a good place for a munch. I imagine in July and August these streets would be packed, but I've always found that if you take your chance with the weather in October, you'll have these beautiful Irish towns and villages practically to yourself. And just look at the beautiful day I've got for my visit. Of course, that's if a less busy Ireland appeals to you. I perfectly understand that you might be coming here for the crack, as we say, in which case, the more the merrier. Now I've just arrived at the bottom of Green Street, which is off to the left here and up the hill, so I'm going to take you up there. And there's a sign for the Dingle market. I've never visited that, so if you know the place, maybe tell us if it's worth a visit in the comments. And even the Spar supermarket looks quite nice in its green facade. Well, look at that, Honey Agnes's. That looks really interesting. And a very colourful restaurant opposite. Now this might be an excellent time for me to ask if you would support the channel by subscribing. Unfortunately, 80% of viewers who obviously enjoy the channel, or why else would they watch it, aren't yet subscribed. It would be amazing if I could improve on that. It helps the popularity of the channel so much, so please can I ask you for your support now in hitting that big red button. Nothing bad will happen, I promise. In fact, you'll probably get more Naked Ireland videos come up in your feed in the future, so that's good, right? Go on, subscribe. Lovely little Georgian front doorway there. And I'm sure I don't need to say that if you enjoy these videos, be sure and like them. Give them the old thumbs up. Again, it all helps me deliver more content to you in the future. Hit the little bell icon while you're at it to get alerts when I post. In short, do all the YouTubey stuff and you'll have the luck of the Irish. A little cheese shop there, very nice. Now it's a very steep hill this, as you can see, but well worth the walk up to see all the beautiful shops. The church that you can see at the top of the street is St Mary's, and we'll be passing that soon. But there's a few more lovely places just before that, like this Little Craft Jewellers. And on Capel Do, the Black Horse Bed and Breakfast. Actually, if you're visiting Dingle or any other provincial Irish town, maybe have a think about staying in one of these bed and breakfasts or B&Bs. They're usually small family-run places where you'll get a much more personal experience than the big hotels, and it'll be cheaper too, with a nice breakfast in the morning. They used to be very basic accommodation, but they've come on a lot in recent years, so that might be worth a try. And there's St Mary's, a neo-Gothic church from the mid-19th century. The Virgin Mary features a lot in Ireland, but Ireland's not the staunch Catholic country that it once was, where church and state were intertwined, so perhaps the shrines and dedications that you used to see all over the place are not so popular these days. And there's the Gothic arch of the front entrance. And I'm not sure what's going on across the street with that watermelon mural. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. Now that looks like a lovely little seafood bar. Fresh fish is obviously landed at the harbour here, so a seafood restaurant is a good option in Dingle. And even down the little alleyways, there's interesting things to see. A gallery in this case. There's the estate agent if you're interested in moving here. I'd say it wouldn't be cheap though. And now we're just emerging onto the junction with Main Street, where we'll turn right and have a little look down there. This looks to be a busier part of town, again full of pubs, restaurants and nice shops. Another estate agent. And of course gift shops are an important commerce in any seaside town. I just can't believe the weather I've got today for this visit. I guess that's another bed and breakfast. And then more pubs. I'm still amazed at how many pubs these small towns in Ireland are able to support. You'd think we were mad drinkers or something. On that subject though, did you know that you can now buy me a pint? Yes, you heard correctly. If you like the channel and would like to offer a little support, why not buy me a pint? It's easy to do, just visit the description under this video and you'll find a link to the donation page in the second paragraph. It couldn't be simpler, and I assure you every donation helps. There you are. I always say no shamrocks in the introduction to my videos, but they're impossible to avoid as soon as you get on the tourist trail. Looks like a good wee pub though. And of course there'll be live music in these pubs at night, particularly at the weekends. Irish dancing sometimes even. I'm always impressed when I visit places like this by how they've developed in culinary terms over the years to cater for foreigners with refined tastes. And Irish people with high expectations now too, I guess. There's another seafood restaurant, for example. So even in October, it's such a pleasant experience to walk around a lovely town like Dingle. Now I've just arrived at the junction of Main Street and the Mall. As you can see from the signage, there's nice walking routes around the town. And we'll head down the Mall to take us back round to where we started our walk. And there's another B&B on the right, in an old traditional stone building. Even the houses are beautifully painted. This fantastic greenhouse even has a stream running under it. And a lovely little garden too. Now we're on the very last stage of our odyssey here and heading back again towards the bottom of Green Street. Again, more stone buildings, and just look at the shades on those buildings. Aren't they fantastic looking? So as I mentioned earlier, Dingle has always been a very European town with its French and Spanish traders centuries ago, but it still feels very European today. Of course it is European, right out here on the edge of Europe, but you know what I mean. It has a very cultural feel about it. I don't know how many art galleries we've passed, for example. Quite a few. Now this junction you might recognise as the road we came up, and we went right up Green Street towards the church. Now we're going to head back down and I'm heading for a pint. And this is my resting place. We passed it earlier, Bob Griffin's Little Bar. Actually, it's not that small when you get inside, but you'll have to wait for that in another film, as this is where our walk ends. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and I also hope that I'll see you all in the next Naked Ireland film very soon. I could murder a pint after all that.